What's up, DCNH? Back to another video on Detective Comics 1027. Now, we're checking out the story written by Grant Morrison, guys. Grant Morrison is an amazing writer, and this story is called The Silver Ghost. Now, that doesn't give you Grey Ghost vibes. I don't know what will, but we're going to dive into the story. It's actually really good and very interesting. So let's get to it. The story opens up with this man watching over Gotham City with his pistols, and he says, "The city, I know this city, it knows me. I know its singular must of exhaust fumes, aftershave, and donuts. It's jazzy, a metropolitan B.O. They call New York City the Big Apple. If Gotham were a Big Apple, it would be rotting to the pits. The stinking pits where bloom the bitter weeds of crime. Tonight, all that's about to change. Meet your new guardian angel, Gotham. Meet the Silver Ghost." Now you see a splash image of the Silver Ghost. He has his pistols. He looks really dope, guys. He looks awesome. And he says, "What is the secret of the one-man crusade against chaos? Who am I? And now, how did I come to be? What happened to turn me into the man I am today? I still recall that fateful day all those years ago and the vow I made then." And you see him just watching like a show, and his dad says, "Those poor rich people. This town's gone to the dogs with no dog catcher in sight. It's about time some remarkable character took the law into his own hands." And then the Silver Ghost is thinking, he says, "I never forgot about my father's words that day, and even considered calling myself dog catcher, until a better idea came along." He says, "Dad died a few years later, blind drunk. He confused a litter of white spirit for a vintage Speyside malt. Mom still lives nearby with my sis in Bloodhaven, but we don't keep in touch. They never could understand my burning desire to abandon higher education in favor of a hard-boiled, crime-fighting career." And he continues to say that pretty much he couldn't be a detective, he's struggling with his job, and he says that he's inspired by all these other people who actually put on this whole persona of having a hat on, having a pistol, trying to save Gotham City. Now, he pretty much was inspired by other different heroes, guys. One of them was actually the Crimson Avenger, which is a really cool reference, guys. And you see him put on gloves, he puts on goggles, he puts on a hat, and he says, "The Silver Ghost is here. I had the look, the name, the beginning of a top-notch crime lab, and a second-hand roadster I planned to drive until I could afford to hire a better car." He says, "More to the point, I had my first case, the savage murder of chemical mogul Old Lamberts." And he says, "I expect I'd soon attract my very own gallery of fiends, monsters with names like Split Face, Gum Face, Giant Lizard Face, and Doctor Face. I was ready to strike." He says, "Everyone knows, even the toughest criminals are afraid of ghosts. Someone ought to do something. My dad had said, slurring his words in that way I'll always remember. If the Silver Ghost doesn't tackle the scourge of crime in Gotham, who will? Who will?" But that's when we see the Batman shows up, comes through a window, and it turns out the case that they're talking about, guys, this whole case about the chemical incident is the very first case of Batman's very first appearance in Detective Comics number 27, 1,000 issues ago. Now, that's when Batman comes to the window, he makes it through, and this other guy, Lambert, comes through, he says, "What the?" And then Silver Ghost just watches, and Batman flips this guy in his face, takes his hand, kicks him over the legs, the Lambert falls into the chemicals, and Batman says, "A fitting end for his kind." Now, Silver Ghost says, "Guess that answered my question." So he pretty much realizes, I'm not the protector of the city. Batman is. He falls to his knees. He makes it back to his apartment. He says, "I know the city and it knows me. It's true that familiarity breeds contempt. Shove it, Gotham. That's the last time I ever make a vow." And they see him look out into the window and sees the bat signal. So guys, that's how this issue ends, but it's very original. This is a very original concept, which I always like. That's always a plus for me. But still, see this guy, he wanted to be a hero. He wanted his own rogues gallery. He was a Silver Ghost. He was starting out, but the Batman beat him to the punch. I really like that, guys. Seeing Batman in the old costume just gives all kinds of nostalgia vibes. But yeah, guys, this is actually a really great storyline by Grant Morrison, one of the best in this book. And that's why I'm going to give this story a 9.7 out of 10. I really love the story, not only because it gives a lot of Grey Ghost vibes, but just the fact of an original concept written by Grant Morrison. Like, that's just really cool, right? But guys, the concept below, to know about the story, did you love it, did you hate it? What do you think about this concept of this guy who wanted to be the hero, the protector of Gotham City, but he couldn't, guys. He couldn't because of Batman beat him to the punch. And do you get Grey Ghost vibes? If you guys like it, you get a big thumbs up. Make sure to make subscribe to my next Detective Comics number 1027 review. I'm going on my biggest stories and the ones I enjoyed the most on this channel. And guys, one more thing, the artwork in this story is really well done. I actually really like it, and I hope this artist gets more work in the future. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and peace out.